What if the biggest change to the GDPR since 2018 was about to happen? And what if this change could completely reshape how artificial intelligence is trained in the European Union? That's exactly what's on the table today. The European Commission is preparing to codify legitimate interest as a legal basis for AI training, potentially marking a turning point in the relationship between data protection and technological innovation. But what does that really mean for AI developers, for companies processing personal data, and for the protection of individuals' rights? Most importantly, is it so relevant for companies exploiting AI, not only the developers, but any company using artificial intelligence system or planning to use that? Let's unpack it together. Welcome back to Diritto Digitale. I'm Giulio Coraggio, a technology and data lawyer at the global law firm DLA Piper. This is the podcast where we explore the intersection between law and innovation, analyzing how emerging technologies are reshaping regulation and vice versa. Today's episode takes us into one of the most anticipated reforms in the EU digital policy, the possible codification of legitimate interest as a lawful legal basis for AI model training. Until now, the use of legitimate interest for AI training under the GDPR has been a legal gray zone, I would say. Some national data protection authorities accepted it under strict conditions, others rejected it entirely. The European Data Protection Board, the EDP, in 2024 issued an opinion on AI model training and took a very cautious approach, emphasizing that companies must conduct detailed balancing tests that could never assume that legitimate interest applies automatically. The result: legal fragmentation. Developers were uncertain whether they could use public data for AI training without breaching privacy laws. The European Commission's proposal seeks to fix that by moving from interpretation to codification. Under the upcoming digital omnibus package, expected on the 19th of November 2025, legitimate interest AI training would be explicitly recognized in the GDPR, just like the soft spam exception under the e-privacy directive. But let's break it down in the key implications of this reform. First, it brings legal certainty for AI developers. If a legitimate interest becomes a clearly defined lawful legal basis, companies can rely on it to process publicly available personal data for AI training without fearing inconsistent interpretations across the European Union. Second, it ensures harmonization. The same rules would apply in all the EU member states, avoiding conflicting decisions from national regulators and easing compliance for multinational companies. Third, it preserves strong safeguards. Sensitive personal data like health, ethnicity, or religion would remain off limits unless one of the strict Article 9 GDPR exceptions applies. Only ordinary data could be processed, and only when privacy protections like pseudonymization and data minimization are in place. Fourth, transparency remains essential. AI developers relying on legitimate interest AI training would still need to inform individuals clearly and offer them the right to object or request deletion. This is not a free pass. It is a structured, accountable framework. In its 2024 opinion, the EDPB raised serious concerns about large-scale data scraping and lack of user awareness. Its message was clear. Legitimate interests cannot justify indiscriminate data collection. But the strict stance created regulatory paralysis. AI cannot develop without data, yet data cannot be processed without a legal basis that is lawful. The European Commission move is a pragmatic compromise. It acknowledges that innovation and privacy can coexist, provided that developers document their balancing tests, respect individuals' rights, and implement privacy by design principles. It applies to developers, it applies to deployers, to companies using AI systems. This shift signals a policy evolution. Europe wants to remain a global leader in the trustworthy AI on a solid, realistic legal foundation. Of course, codification won't make compliance disappear. Companies will still need to show that their interest in AI training does not override individuals' rights. That means performing and documenting legitimate interest assessments, designing privacy by design mechanisms, and providing clear and accessible information to users. The balance between innovation and protection of fundamental rights is delicate, but by clarifying the rules, the EU gives both developers, deployers, citizens, and all of us a clearer understanding of their boundaries and protections. This reform also complements the EU AI Act. The AI Act defines risk categories and obligations for AI systems, but it does not specify the legal basis for data processing during model training. The new GDPR provision would fill that gap, creating a bridge between data protection and AI governance. Together, they could form a coherent, risk-based, and innovation-friendly framework that places Europe at the forefront of responsible AI regulation. But the final outcome will depend on the wording. If the scope is too broad, privacy may be weakened. If it's too narrow, the clarity business need would vanish. The codification of legitimate interest AI training is not a revolution, it's an evolution, a sign that Europe wants to preserve its privacy values while embracing the technological wave. The real test will be whether this reform can strike that balance, ensuring that innovation thrives without eroding trust. What do you think? Is this the right direction for Europe's digital future? Or does it risk opening the door to excessive data use under the banner of innovation? Write to me at giulio.coraggio@dlapiper.com to share your thoughts. And don't forget to subscribe to this podcast, activate the bell to never miss an episode again. And leave us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts or Spotify if you found today's episode insightful. I'm Giulio Coraggio, this is the podcast Diritto al Digitale. Arrivederci.